This is RTV6 News at 5, working for you.
First at 5, right now, a lot of central Indiana is under a severe thunderstorm watch.
And it's not something to take lightly, especially after the tornado and severe weather outbreak last evening.
It is a Storm Team 6 alert day, and we begin with Chief Meteorologist Kevin Gregory. And Kevin, what do we all need to know for the rest of the evening?
Just like last night, this is targeting the northern half of the state and the northern third right now. Let's get you up to date. This is in effect until 8 o'clock tonight, as far south as Crawfordsville into Hamilton County, Fishers, and Carmel on north. Here, everything's shaded in yellow. That until 8 o'clock tonight. There's one warning there for Carroll and Howard County. Let's zoom in on that. We've got more thunderstorms that will come in a little south of Interstate 74. Williamsport, Attica, Covington, Veedersburg, be alert. Here we go to 2 storms that have been producing some very strong winds and hail. One just to the northeast of Delphi now. The other sitting southwest of Kokomo will move from Rossville and Burlington to the north and east, producing some 60-mile-per-hour gusts, potentially quarter-size hail. There's the hail marker with a storm that's between Delphi and Logansport. A little closer we go. Camden, you're on the edge of this. Come up toward Logansport and Deer Creek as this one moves to the east. This storm covering now the western half of Howard County, Kokomo down to Rushville, up to Galveston. This will cross 31 and the Kokomo bypass, again with torrential rainfall. The threats that are greatest are large hail and damaging wind. Can't rule out an isolated tornado, but should be more of a general thunderstorm threat with the wind and hail. Temperatures very warm to the south, 88 in Bedford, 74 as you can see in Lafayette. Again, the dividing line, the spark for the thunderstorms, sits to the north. That won't change until Friday. As we go through the evening tonight, there we are at 1 o'clock in the morning, more thunderstorms lining up. I'll take you through the overnight timeline and talk about tomorrow and beyond coming up.
Okay, thanks, Kevin. And tonight we are getting a clearer picture of the severe storms that barreled through different parts of central Indiana Monday night, spawning tornadoes and causing extensive damage in multiple areas.
So far, the National Weather Service has confirmed 4 tornadoes, 1 in Pendleton, another in Grant County, a tornado in Miami County, and 1 in Henry County.
And we begin in Pendleton, maybe the hardest hit area of all.
A tornado destroyed homes and ripped up trees and brought down power lines there.
We also have a crew in Grant County, another spot hit by a tornado.
We begin our team coverage with Stephanie Wade. She's live in Pendleton. Now, Stephanie, you've been seeing the damage and speaking with those affected all day.
Yeah, Mark and Amanda, we were here last night right after that now confirmed EF2 tornado touched down here in Pendleton, but it was dark out. It was hard to see because the power was knocked out in really every direction that you looked. But now back here today in the daylight, we are having a better look here at the damage and just how widespread it is. Damage, take a look here. Like this. Look at this car. You can see where the tree uprooted and just crashed right on top of this car here. Thank goodness no one was inside. Several large trees just like this around town were also tossed across yards, onto houses, and power lines. Today, the familiar sound of chainsaws throughout the streets as people begin to clean up and crews cut down trees that fell on top of power lines. But the main focus for emergency management here is to restore power. Right now, an estimated 1,500 to 2,000 people are still without power here in Pendleton. The street department crews are doing a good job getting streets opened up here. They don't have necessarily 2 lanes of traffic opened up quite yet, but they are making progress here in Madison County. Now, I spoke with people today who were here when that tornado ripped through. Take a listen to what it was like.
We were going down into the basement, and my wife watched the tree fall as we were closing the hatch for the cellar.
We had to evacuate last night because of the gas leaks, so we actually had to leave the home, and we came back this morning, and this is what we saw.
And it really is incredible. There were no serious injuries, only 1 minor injury after the storm. Now I asked the Madison County Emergency Management Director why he thinks that is.
I credit it to about 3 things. Number 1, the National Weather Service got warnings out. They told us all day long that severe weather was coming. Emergency management, we shared that message. And you folks, our media partners, your meteorologists, your stations got the word out that severe weather's coming. We were able to communicate that to the public, and we were able to say, hey, the storm is coming, take shelter.
Now, beginning at 6 o'clock, people who live east of Pendleton Avenue here, you are allowed back into your homes. So they've extended that perimeter there. But people, however, who live west of Pendleton Avenue, they want you to stay away. If you are in your homes, stay inside because it is still dangerous on the streets here. Now, our Alyssa Donovan was also here today in Pendleton. She continues our team coverage. Crews and residents have been working here in Pendleton, Indiana throughout the day to clean up the damage done by yesterday's tornado. Now you can see this man is starting to clear up some of this tree. We also have this downed power line that has gone through this backyard. And we've also seen there's a few trees on houses across the city. And that is what people are concerned about. But the main concern from EMA is getting that power restored. So they have crews from across Indiana and even into Kentucky that have come up to help restore power. Their goal is to get that done by tonight. So that is what they are working on today. They're also concerned about people that are without air conditioning. So if anyone without air conditioning, without power to their home, needs shelter, that Red Cross shelter is still available at Pendleton High School.
Our Alyssa Donovan for us tonight. Today, the National Weather Service confirmed the tornado to hit Grant County was an EF2. There is plenty of damage throughout Grant County tonight, as you see here. Our team coverage continues there with RTV6's Paris Lubell.
Families cleaning up a significant amount of damage here in Grant County. This is just one of those homes that was damaged. The family inside down in the basement, and that's what they say saved their life. It wasn't until daylight on Tuesday that you could see just how powerful that tornado was and the extent of the damage in Grant County. The National Weather Service says an EF2 tornado touched down just before 8:15 on Monday evening in the northwestern side of Grant County. The Weather Service says the tornado was on the ground for just over 4 miles, and they say it saw winds from 120 to 125 miles per hour. It was on the ground for just about 6 minutes, but it destroyed homes and barns in its path. One of those homes was Don Sweet's sister's house. He says she was home when the tornado came through.
She went in the basement and that saved her life because there's not a spot in the upstairs that she wouldn't have been killed. She was a lucky gal. I didn't realize this morning how much damage there was there, but her house is wiped clear out.
The American Red Cross and the utilities, as well as the county, have been out here and checking on everything. They say now it's just the cleanup phase that has to begin. In Grant County, Paris Lubell, RTV6.
Paris, thank you. An EF2 tornado also ripped through Miami County. Miami County Emergency Management Director Chris Marks tells RTV6 most of the heavy damage happened just north of the town of Macy. The tornado destroyed at least 2 homes and took down multiple power lines and trees. The storm also damaged several buildings there. The National Weather Service says an EF1 tornado caused damage across parts of Henry County. Henry County Emergency Management Director Ron Huffman said a majority of the damage is just south of Middletown. The damage from the tornado includes mostly trees and power lines, but the storm significantly damaged a few buildings as well. Fortunately, no injuries have been reported. Amanda.
The town of Pendleton put multiple videos on Facebook showing where the tornado hit and where it didn't. Now, the videos take you on a tour through Pendleton. Again, town officials say they know a lot of you want to help. Pendleton will make volunteer opportunities clear tomorrow.
Working for you, tips from the Indiana Department of Insurance on how you should prepare for severe weather. Bottom line, you shouldn't wait until it's too late. Always be weather aware with resources like the RTV6 app and the Storm Shield app. And that way you know it's coming and when. Create a home inventory of your belongings so if your home and things are damaged or destroyed, you can accurately file an insurance claim. Review your insurance policies, know what it is and is not covered, and report your insurance claims as quickly as possible, and always prepare for the worst.
And we always have your back when it comes to covering severe weather. Follow updates from Chief Meteorologist Kevin Gregory, Kyle Mounts, Todd Clausen, and Alyssa Donovan on the RTV6 app. Plus, for an added layer of protection, you can download the Storm Shield app, which will alert you to warnings and watches. Both apps are free.
Developing tonight, a 12-year-old is dead from apparent abuse, allegedly involving a shock collar and restraints. Now 2 people are under arrest in Monroe County. The Monroe County Sheriff's Office says an examination of Eduardo Paso after his death found multiple signs of abuse and starvation. Detectives say the family was in Monroe County for employment, which includes distributing advertising for a circus which tours around the United States. Police arrested the boy's father, 32-year-old Luis Paso, and his wife, 25-year-old Diane Medina Flores. 3 other children, ages 9, 5, and 2, were placed in the care of Child Protective Services, and they appear to be healthy, according to the sheriff's office. Detectives searched the Bloomington motel room where the family was staying and say they found a box containing restraints and a canine shock collar. During their investigation, detectives also found video of the 12-year-old restrained in a bathtub and a selfie of Luis and Eduardo that shows the child under restraints.
New information just into the RTV6 newsroom. Human remains found in a suitcase on the southeast side are those of a man who has been missing since mid-March. The Marion County Coroner and Indianapolis Metropolitan Police identified the man as 56-year-old Larry Terry. On Monday, police were called to the 2500 block of South Villa Avenue, where a suitcase with human remains inside had been found along a creek. That's near East Raymond Street and South Keystone Avenue. A relative of Terry reported him missing on March 12th. He had been last seen at his home in the 3000 block of English Avenue, according to police. A cause of death has not been released. Still ahead at 5:30 on RTV6, a growing number of children are in foster care because of their parents' opioid addiction. Coming up on the Now Indy, who's now trying to help this dire situation?
And just ahead here at 5, an Indiana law goes before the Supreme Court. The ruling handed down on what should happen to aborted fetuses. And now 2 justices explain what it could mean for women.
Ongoing thunderstorms, in some cases severe, with damaging wind and hail being the threats. Logansport to Kokomo, and then you see a larger line that will move west to east. It's coming into western Indiana. We'll track that next.
Injured people committed to be the best.
An RTV6 update tonight on the health of an elephant at the Indianapolis Zoo who had been diagnosed with the same virus that killed 2 other elephants there.
Now, in a tweet, the zoo says 13-year-old Kadar is back outside and is now even roaming in his large yard. They say the often deadly virus is now nearly undetectable in Kadar. Zoo officials say they are pleased with his progress.
Good to see it. For many families, it can take years to save enough money to visit Disney World or Disneyland, so you don't want it to be ruined by being turned away at the gate. Our John Matarese is working for you, warning us about some things you will not be able to get into the parks, so you don't waste your money.
Summer vacation season is about to start, and this year Orlando will be the #1 destination according to TripAdvisor. But if you're heading to Disney, you need to know about some things you cannot bring there. Disney World and Disneyland are the happiest places on earth, unless, that is, you try to bring in an item that's banned from their parks. Reader's Digest Travel recently listed a number of things that people try to bring in, but either have to toss in the trash or carry back to the car. Among them, drones, leave them home. Folding chairs, wagons, strollers only. Wrapped birthday gifts, you'll need to unwrap them. Large coolers, suitcases, selfie sticks, musical instruments, and your cat or dog. Sorry, Fido. And from the Doesn't That Stink file, something people try to bring in all the time that will be turned away. A loved one's ashes in an urn. People try to spread them outside Haunted Mansion or in the water of Pirates of the Caribbean. Spend all that money to take Uncle Bob to the park, and you'll say, doesn't that stink? Leave his ashes home or spread him in the ocean. Unsure? Check Walt Disney World's website or read some of the many theme park forums out there so you're not surprised that you don't waste your money. I'm John Matarese for RTV6.
And new developments tonight, the United States Supreme Court has upheld an Indiana law that requires abortion providers to dispose of aborted fetuses in the same way as human remains. And that's by requiring abortion providers to cremate or bury the remains of the fetuses. The court split 7-2 in allowing Indiana to enforce the fetal remains measure that had been blocked by a federal appeals court. The justices said in an unsigned opinion that the case does not involve limits on abortion rights. But Justices Ruth Bader Ginsburg and Sonia Sotomayor dissented. Ginsburg said in a short opinion that she believes that the issue does implicate a woman's right to an abortion, quote, without undue interference from the state.
It is time now for your Storm Team 6 forecast. It's an alert day. In fact, we do already have a warning for you to the northern part of our viewing area, Kevin, you mentioned earlier.
Yeah, so Howard County is just now expiring. We've got other stronger storms coming in. One of the dramatic things yesterday is oftentimes we don't get good views of the tornadoes. I got several here for you. These happen to come from Grant County. There's the view, and I'm going to just cut through the picture here for 1 second, and I'll go check on that. Can you imagine looking out your window? That's looking through the blinds of his home. This is northwest then of Marion in Grant County. This is a thunderstorm warning for Fountain, Vermilion, and Warren. I'll show that to you in 1 second. Those are the storms coming in from the west. So this was the Jalapa tornado that moved to the northeast. It was all northwest then of Marion in Grant County. Another view of that same tornado, and one more view up in Grant County. Pretty stunning stuff. All part of the piece of the puzzle as far as tracking the severe weather yesterday, and your contributions were much appreciated. Thunderstorm watch, meaning conditions favorable for severe storms, and we certainly have that in isolated spots. Warren and Fountain counties, this is along and just north of 74 in western Indiana. 60-mile-per-hour gusts of quarter-size hail. Let's throw the radar on. That's the line of storms coming into western Indiana. Let's check the ongoing storms for a second. Heavy rainfall, Rushville, west of Kokomo. This is moving to the east-northeast. This will cause some street flooding. There are some flood advisories out as we get more rain moving over the same area from Rossville to Kokomo toward Greentown. I'll move over here so we get a better look at this line of storms that's coming together. When we get a line like this, the forward progress makes it more likely that it can produce damaging wind. I track that to the east at about 35 miles per hour. Williamsport, Monticello, West Lafayette, in the path of this. Basically, it will come through the same areas that have already had one round of storms. Temperatures are coolest, change in wind direction coming off the lake. Look at that. 54 in Chicago, 87 in Bloomington, 74 in Lafayette, 85 in Indianapolis. Tonight, showers, thunderstorms still around late tonight and overnight, especially to the north. That will drop to the south. We'll have a period of showers and thunderstorms in the early morning hours. Temperatures still in the 80s tomorrow. They fall and then come back up as we get later in the week. Temperatures just about average or a little above average in most spots again tomorrow. Thunderstorm threat tomorrow, 40%. It will be breezy. Winds gusting 20 to maybe 30 miles per hour early in the day. Temperatures again in the low 80s for an afternoon high. Will cool off after that. Again tomorrow we'll have this thunderstorm threat, and if you may be severe, some more rain and thunderstorms on Thursday before. You ready for this? Friday, dry and comfortable. Temperatures in the 70s, partly sunny. Chance for thunderstorms a little higher the first half of the weekend, and then perhaps a 3-day dry stretch unveiled Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. We'll track these strong to severe storms from west to east here the next several hours, generally sitting north of Indianapolis.
We'll depend on it. Thank you, Kevin. Next year on RTV6, a surprise gift and the lesson learned from a special doll and a debilitating illness.
Rallies and checkers. Best foodies know the deal.
Hello to you. I'm Julie Grant with Court TV. We are in week number 2 out in San Diego, California, in the case of the state of California versus Kellen Winslow II. The former NFL star is being accused of sexual misconduct by 5 women. So far, we've heard from 3 different Jane Doe accusers. We still have yet to hear from Jane Doe number 4 and Jane Doe number 5. On the stand today, the state started with the lead detective in the case, the man who they say was able to tie Winslow to all 5 Jane Doe accusers. We also know that that detective did an interview with Kellen Winslow II in which he said that sex with Jane Doe number 1 and Jane Doe number 2 was consensual. What does this mean for whether Kellen Winslow II will take the stand in this case and testify in his own defense? Well, that remains to be seen. But of course, we have you covered here on Court TV. Stay with us for gavel-to-gavel coverage of this very compelling criminal case. I'm Julie Grant at Court TV. Now, back to you in the studio.
And by the way, you can stream Court TV live 24 hours a day at courttv.com. A 5-year-old boy with a life-threatening illness is smiling after local second graders surprised him with an amazing gift.
A unique doll is now teaching young and old about the power of kindness. This is Peyton. Hydrocephalus, or fluid pressure on the brain, has kept him and his parents in and out of hospitals for all 5 of his life. Well, 5 years of his life.
5 years of his life there, and Peyton's new one-of-a-kind doll reflects all of those scary times.
Scars are very personal. To have something that looks just like him with his scars, I thought, man, that would be an amazing thing.
On the last day of school, the second graders at an elementary school in Florida gave Peyton the doll. They'd never met him before, but told their teacher they wanted to help a child with a life-threatening illness. So they reached out to a groundbreaking Wisconsin doll maker.
Make dolls for kids that don't see themselves on the store shelves. The story is not this kid gets a doll. The story is what these other kids did for somebody that they don't even know.
Well, Peyton's mom says the heart of children is a truly wonderful thing, and that it gives you hope for the next generation. Very generous there. Great to see all those smiling faces there.
Very sweet.
Coming up all new at 6, more roundabouts are coming to central Indiana, but we're not talking about Carmel, where construction is already underway on the first of 4 roundabouts is new at 6.
But first on the now, Indy, natural disasters can bring out the worst in some people. What storm victims need to know so you don't get scammed in your time of need. You're watching RTV6.